a Pittsburgh legend,
Mhm.
a legend, just an amazing human being inside and out. I'm here with Mr. Chris Edmonds. So I kind
Mhm.
of want to get started into like your journey just with playing at Woodland Hills and how you started at West Virginia and just like your whole journey starting with football. Like when did you learn like, this is what I want to do and I'm actually really good at it?
Actually, I didn't. I grew up in Atlanta, and I hated football. I mean, I didn't hate football. I like to watch it, but basketball was my favorite sport. Um, then I moved to Pittsburgh, which was like, Woodland Hills like a powerhouse, and I was like, well, there's only a couple ways to college here. You got to kind of figure it out. So I only played maybe 4 games my junior year of high school. Coach Novak asked me to play. I was like, no, no, no. So halfway through the season, I decided I'll play. And I actually got all these scholarship offers based on those 4 games. I'm like, well, maybe this is my way out of my situation, so I can get to a higher level of education and stuff like that too. So Woodland Hills actually saved me a lot. I coach there now still, and thankful for that. They gave me a good opportunity, and then I picked West Virginia just based on just the environment. I took a trip down there. I took a trip to a lot of schools like Miami and Notre Dame and Penn State. I had all these scholarship offers, but I wanted to took my talents to West Virginia, and then I ended up being really good too. Ended up being a All American there as well, and then when I played Cincinnati, it's a lot of fun though. The
Yes.
journey. So I started by saying I really didn't like football, but it's my way to just figure out college because I knew if I didn't get a scholarship at that point, I probably wasn't going to go. So I just had to kind of make my way in that way as far as sports and
So
football.
when did you really start getting, into coaching at Woodland Hills? Like when did you begin?
When I retired, I actually went back down to help Coach Novak at that time, and I just, and during my time playing, I always went back, even in college, I went back and helped out and watched the games, and kind of encouraged the guys. And it was good to see the older guys come back, and the kids appreciate. I run into kids now, like, remember you came back and speak to our team, and now they're in their 30s, and I feel like I'm old, but um, I wanted to go back after my coach retired, and he asked me like, they're going to need a new fresh face, somebody they know, and that can uphold the tradition of our school. So I decided to go back and coach. Started helping out first, and they asked me to do more and more and more. So I came back, and they asked me to do more and more and more. So I'm here.
What's one of like your coaching resumes? Like what's something that you teach the players to really like live by and stand by? And is there like a separation that you give them between, life out on the field and then just life? Like are those, do you have those talks with them? What are like the ways that you teach them other than just coaching them?
I do. I don't coin myself as like a true coach. Like I know X's and O's, like every other coach in the world. But my way of coming back was, do you see someone who looks like them? Like somebody who aspire to see. Like for instance, like I got 1,000 tattoos. For some reason, that kind of makes them understand that you can still do football. You can also be an entrepreneur. You can also be a doctor. You can also do these different things, but you don't have to be so one-sided. I was fortunate enough to be one-sided, but I was focused enough to understand like this is what I want to do. This is this. There's no plan B. And I'm known. I coach. I'm harsh. I'll use the word harsh because I believe that nobody's gonna be kind to you all the time. Nobody's going to hold your hand through situations. So I'm harsh. Like if you're not doing well, I'm gonna tell you not doing. I'm not going to babysit you because of your feelings at that time. Now, I know every kid is different. So I coach based on my relationship with the individual players, but I give it to them how I got to give it to them. Like I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to dance around my opinion about things because I know football and they respect that. That I would have to say to them at that point.
Did you plan to like play professionally?
I had every intention on playing. Actually, I was rated like very high in my junior year, but I hadn't graduated out of college already. But I was really highly rated player, and I decided to come back for my senior year at West Virginia so I can graduate. I told my mom I would graduate, so I
Mhm.
came back. Sometimes just fall the way they're gonna fall. I went to the combine, everything went well, but if you know football, actually at West Virginia, I played almost too many positions. I played offense, defense, I played tight end, linebacker, playing, so they had no idea where to put me. So coming out of college, and like I was highly rated, but nobody knew where to place me. So I became falling out in the draft based on their availability to get me for cheaper. That's all it is. How to get the best player for cheap. That's all NFL is. I stuck with Cincinnati because during that whole process, my agent told me you can go anywhere from end of the first round to not getting drafted. And that was like a shocker for me, but they stood by me. So in turn, they rewarded me by sticking with them. They gave me like third round signing bonus money as a free agent. And, they gave me opportunity to go in and play both ways and sort of the talents I showed at West Virginia. A lot of players, a lot of teams wanted me to just they want their players to have very specific things they do. And I was able to do a lot of things. I can go catch a pass the same, turn around, make a tackle, or turn down a kickoff, or play special teams. So I can do a lot of things. So that helped me play as long as I did.
So what was what like a great takeaway being in Cincinnati?
Believe it or not, it wasn't football because I knew football. It's just crazy because people ask me, like, "What did you get? Like, why'd you leave after only 6 years or something like that?" Like, well, at that point in time, I knew. I'll just put it like how I put it when I tell the guys. I'm like, I started thinking about or even in college, I was thinking about what are the benefits of me playing football for the team,
Right.
and I'm like, well, they're going to all these bowl games, making all this money. Like, where do I fit in with that? Well, everybody has their job and career, but in a minute, my body's not going to be able to do this anymore. So where do I fall in the pecking order? So I found out in college, just dealing with that, dealing with the draft, and dealing with how college athletics work. Now you got the kids that get paid. We said they paid for the road for those guys to get the NL money and stuff like that too. So I'm happy for them. Instead of doing it illegally like some of us did, but now they get able to do it legally. So in the NFL, what I took from that, one day I went up and I don't had we had a day off, and instead of being in the locker room playing shooting pool and playing PlayStation with them, I went upstairs and I just wanted to see how the operation was. And then I found out actually the NFL is the largest nonprofit organization in the world. And I started asking the owner, I started asking the Marvel, started asking these guys like, how do you run this? How do you run this nonprofit? ATU is actually a nonprofit because I point how everything they did after the NFL. I just copied it. I copied it, and I wanted to do more than take my body, put on my line every Sunday. I like mentioned, I want to be able to walk with my kids and speak properly. And football sometimes can take that from you if you don't exercise your mental capacity correctly. So I went upstairs, and what I take away from that was I said this business is a business. It's no love lost, there's no hate. It's just like this is no loyalty. It's a game that you have to get out of what you can get out of from at that time. And when I went upstairs, I started learning about the numbers, how they were operating contracts, stuff like that too. So it made me understand like, although I can't play forever, but there's no higher level in the NFL. There's no heaven football team. You know what I mean? Like since now, like this is it. And when I retire, I want to walk off on my own terms and I want to do what I want to do when I get done. I don't have to struggle trying to get back in. I walked away and I said, this is my day. I'll see y'all next time in the stands.
I love
Yeah.
So that was like
Mhm.
a big journey. And I think it's really great to have a perspective of such because especially like, with the NIL deals and just young people getting into this, they don't understand like it's exactly what you said, a business.
Mhm.
And sometimes
Mhm.
they could get blindsided by all that comes with it, especially because maybe it's new exposure or it's coming so fast. So I think
Mhm.
I love how you really just, pinpointed on just the
Right.
business aspect of it because you want something to fall back on at the end of the day. So when you
Right.
were done in Cincinnati, you moved over to play in Germany or with
I
um
went actually. I came back. I went first, and then I came back and played.
okay.
When you get hurt, I tore my ACL.
Mm,
Um, so coming back from that, they said, well, instead of sitting around, I actually was cleared to play. I tore my ACL in like a alien. I was running full speed in 2 months. So they were like, well, you can come back this season, or we can get you some game film and get you some stuff because we still want to make sure up to speed on your game stuff. So I went over there and played. I got over there to play and train. This was some of the better doctors and just get back in the mode. When you tear your ACL, although I was running full speed in 2 months again, I came back around a nice 40 time after that. I still had to get back to the instincts of football. Football's not a thing you can take off from. Like I can go play a basketball game right now, fine. It ain't gonna be fast, but I mean, playing a football game off an injury, taking months off, it can throw you off completely. You're gonna get hurt more based on your inability to catch up with the game, the instincts and the quick twitch muscles you have. So I went over and played too. It was a fun experience. I would have got to travel all over Europe. It was crazy, but then I came back and got right back to work.
So was retiring just part of, like you said, wanting to be on your own terms, or was it like also injury prone as well, or just a little bit of both?
Actually, getting hurt made me not retire because they told me I was probably not going to play again. So that kind of just made me feel like that kind of made me mad. Like, what do you
Yeah.
mean I'm going to play again? Like, okay, watch. And then I came up playing quicker than expected. So when I did come back, I trained my body. And then with football, some like other sports, you can kind of play like at a lower level, but still be kind of good. Like Michael Jordan, you can kind of still get out a little bit. They ain't great. They ain't like the old 23, but it's like the Wizards you can still do. But football, one day, you guys any football players, sometimes you wake up and it's like, I'm out. You'll
Mhm.
wake up one day and like, this is my last time playing football.
Mhm.
And then that's it. And, I woke up, I was like, I did all I can do. I've been playing football, I've been playing sports since I can remember. And I gave my life to sports. I miss my kids being born. I miss every holiday. My birthday's a holiday. And we actually have to play football on that day. So it's
When's your
more like
birthday?
you have January 1st. So we're always playing a bowl game.
Right.
So it's like if I miss everything, I'm
Mhm.
like how much more do I want to miss and why?
Right.
Like I saved up enough, I put money aside. It wasn't really about that. It wasn't about the notoriety and the fame or whatever, being recognized. I didn't care about that. I just wanted to be able to just walk away, not limp away from this game.
Would things have been better if, maybe you were drafted to a team like the Steelers, or just, some like what team were you expecting, like, to go to?
I kind of grew up not having a football team I liked because
Hmm.
I knew that day was going to come. I was going to go play football for somebody. So only loyalty I had to a team was actually Woodland Hills in West Virginia. Anything after that is more like I'm gonna go. I was gonna go to Buffalo or Green Bay for a minute. Um, Even when I retired, I actually did talk to Mike Tomlin. Um, Afterwards, and I had been retired for maybe a year and a half, and I saw him at a track. He was like, I know a lot about you. He just started coaching. I was like, man, come on with me, and I just told him no. I leaned on the fence at the track meet, watching his son racing against my son. He said, why? I said, you see it right now. I'm at track meet watching our sons run. I would miss that if I was playing football. And he's like, I completely understand. He was starting his journey in the coaching at the Steelers. So I think the Brown family at Cincinnati did really good by me. They made us do some things that put us in line to be set as we get older. I didn't think that then, but putting money into a 401k and put money into money, somebody like they forced the thing. It was across the board, but that's the only experience I had. So we had put money away, and they would double or triple that money based on your years in the league. And I was able to play long enough to have money sit there and they matched it. But I ain't probably gonna even look at it until I turn, well, actually, until I turn 50, and that's in a couple of years. So I didn't think about that, but now it's coming to that time where you get to benefit from them helping us out. And when you're 23 years old, 22 years old, you're thinking about that. You're thinking about buying cars and watches.
Right.
So, yeah, I did that. I did that too. But but then I surely realized that was not a good investment.
Well,
Yeah.
he said, no. Yeah, I think that's why, like, it's really, and now I'm going to get into like the, entrepreneurship side of you. I think that's why it's important to, know when that balance comes and know when to, what's really an asset and what's not. So, you talked about your injuries, and I know you have ATU, which is athletic trauma unit.
Mhm.
Just talk to me a little bit about how that began.
Once I retired, everybody ran to me like, "How do you stay in shape?" And as I got older, I feel like I got in better shape for some reason. So I get in shape, get in shape. So I decided to find a way to help people get in shape. I didn't know how. So went back to my stadium, and I posted. I never was on social media up until like forever. Until I started ATU, and I was like, well, I'm gonna be at the Wolverina. Doing workouts for the community. I know everybody doesn't like gym memberships, stuff like that. So I got certified to be a personal trainer. Just because people asked me, and I wanted to make sure I told them the correct thing to do. I went out to the football field and I posted like I'm being at the football field. At that time, I didn't know how to tag people, and I don't know. I didn't know all that stuff. I'm a dinosaur, so I was like, so the first day came on the Wolverine, and nobody came. And I was like, well, I'll try tomorrow. I posted again. I'm coming down here the next day. I have a picture from that day too. There was to the Wolverine. Two people came, and I was like, all right, man. Well, let's start. We started doing stuff, flipping tires, and run them down the field, just doing body weight stuff, and By the time the end of the summer, I think my biggest class had been was like 250 people on the football field. Then it got really, really big. Like ATU got really, really big, like how it is. Like it's just, I've been doing it for 7 years now. So I had to put it to I didn't have a name for it. It was like we were just working out with me. And then my buddy was like, man, after a workout, he's like, this is like trauma. This is like, why we do this? I was like, I don't know. He's like, it's like athletic trauma. And I was like, that's it. And so named it. We started doing all this different stuff in the community. So we took the workouts, free workouts, still doing still workouts, and we started giving out like holiday stuff, turkeys and stuff. We started doing making like a community service kind of all things. So the galas and giving out toys to the community on that side of town, just people who just couldn't give. I give them fitness and it's like hope and stuff like that too. So that's what made me start ACU. That's how it really started with just an idea to get people in shape just for I just want to do it for free. I didn't want to have people have to join a membership or get a gym membership or I mean bring the kids. I don't care who came. You know, I didn't even take signings. I'm like, if you came, you came. We just came and we worked out all body weight stuff so we can all get in shape together.
I'm going to call you the gym saint because, like reading up on a little bit about what you've been doing, I think it always has been like, well, the gym's too far, or I don't want to pay for
hmm
membership. So I think it's like now you don't have an excuse. You
Well,
have
that's why I took it
somebody
out.
that's willing to work with you. You
Mhm.
can bring the family, like whatever it may be. So, how has it been, since you started operating as a nonprofit?
Busy. So it spiraled into a lot of things like so like I said the classes got bigger and we became had to go more places because then you have to it came like more about logistics now about actually having to go back and make sure you had all the insurances and liability stuff and all the stuff you needed. Like at the beginning, it was just like we're having fun, but now like became like, okay, we got to make this a business. So I went back and got the 501c3 nonprofit status. I went for applying for grants. I could pay for fields instead of just sneaking on fields or doing stuff in the backyard, something like that. So I made it to a B, and then it really took off when I got won an award. I got invited to the White House by Obama for a community service award. And we're like, I didn't know it was real. They're like, you got to run an award. I got a letter, but it was very vague, like, make sure you get your clearances and everything. I'm like, I got my clearances. And I got invited to the White House. I was in the White House getting the award, the White House with a suit on and Chuck Taylors. I didn't even realize what was happening. It was fun, but then it started like really catching speed, started really going fast. And then I had to make sure that I just did the proper things. Had a couple of gyms I did rented and, times placement. I tried to move to different places. So I became like a real nice business, but it just I learned as I went. I didn't have a plan for it. It just kind of went, and I got advice from people like Troy Miles and people around who I knew well, Terrence Young, mentors. Are like, well, if you do this, you do this, you do this, you can kind of make it, put it to a beat instead of just being all over the place. Then it turned into everything else between a food truck and gyms. And hey, I'm here now. I'm about to build a new gym around the corner. So it's like everything's kind of like it came together pretty good.
So through that, that's when you created your food truck, and just like your health food line. Like, tell me about, what started your food truck. Was it an extension of ATU?
Well, actually, the food truck actually fell under the nonprofit back. It kind of happened by accident. I was thinking about people then with the fitness part, all these hundreds of people, 1,000 people in shape, and then the next question was, how do I eat? I was like, oh Lord, how do I tell you how to eat? So I went to sleep. Well, honestly, I went to sleep one day, woke up, I was like, food truck. That's it. So I drove to Maryland, met a guy. I literally drove to Maryland that next morning. Met a guy. He's like, "This is how we build food trucks." Food trucks weren't really popular here, and this has been a food truck like 5 years now. But they weren't as popular as they probably are now. It's catching speed now, but then like 5 6 years ago, it wasn't really a thing that you see every day. Um, so when I got back here, I just took the food truck and tried to help people, teach people how to. It's supposed to be a teaching tool to teach people how to cook things inexpensively. But then that became like, boom, I must be the lucky person in the world. Because it became like something that became like something I'm going to do after the workouts, like just kind of give like, just tutorials, tastings, just stuff you can kind of do to, I want you to come here and we'll pay you. I want you to come here and feed my company. So it became like a thing that gets really, really busy during the season.
That's amazing because I think too, when you want to like work out, you're like, I need a meal plan. Like I need to
Yeah.
figure out what it is
Mm-hmm.
that I need to, how can I change my diet, you know? So
Mm-hmm.
I think it was very just amazing how those two correlated and was able to work under one
Mm-hmm.
belt. So what's the future for ATU for the food truck? What's the future with that?
Well, I started the future down the street. Actually, we're having our place right now. It's like only 5,000 square feet. Like you took around, it's like a nice gym. There's a turf field over here, batting cages. But then, like I said, must be lucky because then over the last year, it became so busy in here that we were able to like we need a bigger space. So actually, right around the corner, it's the same street. It just the dumpster park around it. It's like around the corner. So we're building a 20,000 square foot building, but a bigger turf field, football field, new weight room, and all this up in the two. So it's up and on that. I'm still going to continue to do the workouts for people for free. I still do those here and during the week. I actually have a football camp tomorrow, actually, a free football camp, 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. So I made a free to whoever wants to come out. We're going to do football drills and stuff like that. Just kind of get the kids back. You know, it's that time of year when the kids start getting their mind ready for football and training. If they're not playing basketball, running track, got to kind of stay in the mode with instead of sitting around. Then I do a free class after that at 7. Then I'll have another one, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then one. And that's my near future. Far future is I want to put this what I've been doing is setting these things up because now that everyone's getting older, young people I work with and including my kids are able to like go to college, but I still want you to understand this business because that's really what I'm building it for. I plan on still moving. I maybe get a restaurant to go along with the food truck, and this stuff would have been happening, but I probably need a twin to do that. And I don't have any siblings, so just creating a thing for people who want to be involved can be involved. It's a matter of making sure that I don't move too fast. I'm kind of moving gradually. Maybe the gym, get that going, then the food truck and get that going as far as people who want to earn employment or be part of a business. Then I'll teach them the business so they can take that on as well. And they can they can learn as well, and still take this over. Um, and just learn the business that you don't understand that you don't have to work for anybody if you don't want to. You can also do this on your own if you put your mind to it.
Yeah, it's good to have that representation as well. And
Mhm.
what I love about um your company is you saw that need and you immediately said, this is how we're going to solve it. Like this is
Mhm.
how we're going to work towards it. And
Mhm.
that's just an amazing thing to do. So what's also the future with just coaching, you know?
You know what? I never had any aspiration to coach any other team other than Willing Hills. Like I've got offers to do strength and conditioning or as colleges or coaching position or even head coach somewhere, but I never anticipated ever coaching anywhere. People ask me why, because more than coaching, I love giving back to my kids. Like these kids I see now, got to keep in mind, I coach some of their parents. So it's more like this is like a traditional kind of thing, like teaching them like when you go somewhere, you always go somewhere where you can't, don't forget where you came from, come back. So more than coaching, I enjoy just being around the young people. I coach kids I've held as babies now. Like these kids are like 17, 18 years old now. So as far as coaching, it's getting busy. And coaching is a very, very has a lot of this time consuming. So I'm gonna try to maintain my role as long as I can. But realistically, is the bigger everything gets around me, the harder it's gonna be to be a full-time coach in time. And I probably pass that torch to someone else who I could trust down the line, somebody who could take that on. I'll still be involved all the time. But in short, I'm still gonna be coaching the guys, coaching Willie Senior on Friday nights down there, and we'll be trying to win the championship. And then when it's time to go out, I'll know what it's time to go. And I guess guys around me who I know can keep that same pride of Willing Hills pride, Wolverine pride, then they'll know it's time for me to go. Then you take over. Then leave it to the young bucks.
Well, I want to thank you so much for just taking the time out to sit and talk with us today. And we just, I just appreciate everything that you're doing. And if there was, any words of encouragement or advice that you would give, just any young Black man, whether it's going to the league or just starting entrepreneurship or just beginning football, what words of encouragement or advice would you give them?
I would say that don't let anybody talk you off the ledge. I think you should just jump. If you have something you want to do, just do it. Don't even think about it. You ain't gotta tell anybody. Like, so I don't believe in that. Oh well, I don't believe in the plan B. Sometimes can get you away from plan the major plan to begin with. So like, you think you have something to fall back on. Like, don't give yourself that pressure. Sometimes that pressure will make you either bend you or make you to a diamond at this point. So I would tell a young man, like, if you want to do it, do it, and just understand that there's responsibility around it. Everybody wants to be the star till you're the star. It's hard. Everybody wants to be the leader till you're the leader. It's hard. Everybody want to be entrepreneur till you're there, and you realize this takes work. It's not just going to be anything that's going to be sitting in your lap. You got to be willing to work hard and reach out to people. Don't just think that you're alone. People will help you. I never turn down anybody who asks me for any advice and things. I'd be like, okay, yo, come up, meet me over here. Because that's not a secret. I'm not trying to like, hold it all to myself. I want everybody to get better at it. And if you want to do something, do it. You want to go to the NFL, go. I mean, don't let anything hold you back from that because you could make it if you really put your mind to it. But you don't work hard, it won't happen for
Those are facts. Those are
you.
straight facts. Well, all right. I want to thank you so much for everything. And you all be sure to check him out. I'll make sure I drop all his social medias and, get a free workout in.